Here we are. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to my page. Thank you so much for stopping by. I am her, and this is the Ghetto Muslim Chronicles. Now, I have to tell you again and again, and I do say this every time I start a video because even though I'm learning, it's getting a little bit better. This is still a lot of work and it takes a lot of time. So again, I commend you guys, those of you who do this on a regular basis, those of you who are doing this pretty much all day. Hey, my hats are off to you. Especially to some new people to the stage, or should I say off the stage. It's a nice family show called Off Stage. Catch it on YouTube sometime. That's kind of the reason why I'm coming in today, because family, subhanallah, family. And I love my family. La ilaha illallah. There is nobody or nothing worthy of worship but Allah for my family. Just a little bit of a recap. So, my mom is from a huge family. My dad, nice and small. My dad had his sister, and their mom, my grandmother, had two sisters, because it was three altogether, and their mom. Okay, so their mom, her name was Lucille, and she was my great grandmother. That woman was blind. No, like for real blind, like blind, but knew everything. Like how, I don't know. SubhanAllah. And then she had three daughters, Josephine, Roberta, and Louise, which is my grandmother. Louise had two children, my dad and his sister. Okay, so that's how I came. All right, about. My mom, on the other hand, Bismillah. My mom comes from a very large family. My mom is one of 13 children. Okay. My grandmother, her mother, had a sister and a brother, so she came from a small family as well. And then her mother, who would be my great grandmother on that side, was Miss Minnie Hull, honey. And she, I believe her husband's name was Turnage. I believe that's my great grandfather's name, Turnage. Nevertheless, honey, we working it all out right now. We're actually doing some things to kind of come together later on this year. And so we're actually in the process of bringing all this information together and sorting it out. And I just, had this overwhelming feeling of comfort and joy and ease, just talking with my family. And I wanted to capture that sideways. I got a whole list of other stuff that I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to talk about. That's what I'm going to do the video about. But alhamdulillah, just being in their presence, just being on the phone with them, coming together, talking about different things. I'm like, yo, let's do it. All right. So this is my family version of the Ghetto Muslim Chronicles. How does that relate, or what does that have to do with being a ghetto Muslim? Trust and believe just about everything. All right. So I said that my mom was one of 13. Okay. She herself had 7. Okay. I have another aunt, my mom's sister, who had 9. She had another brother who had 6, I believe. And then she had another, okay, so you already know how this goes. Things get pretty scrambled pretty quickly. My point is, as we were coming up, we would all just so happen to be at my grandmother's house at the same time. And as a kid, as a child, I thought they were doing this for us, but now that I'm an adult and I know how things go, I understand that they were just coming to their mama's house. with their kids. And we just happened to be fun, loving kids who were so excited to see each other. When we would get to my grandmother's house, first of all, she lived across the street from the park. Okay. So when you at my grandmother's house, you standing on the porch, you can see across the street to the park, swing, slide board, monkey bars, all of that. So it's always very enticing. And so when we would all get together over there, the first thing we wanted to do was see each other. Oh my God. It was always like it was the first time we were seeing each other. Oh my God. Oh, I miss you. I miss you. Where you been? Da, 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 da. And it was just always awesome because we truly, genuinely loved each other. And on top of that, what you don't see a lot of times with family, so we was also friends. Yeah. So we would get there and I'm thinking about it now, we would have all these different families and at my grandmother's house at this one time. So just imagine her children, the 13, right? Bringing their children with, multiple of them had more than 5 children. So we all there at the same time, just a ripping and a running all through the back, all through the house. Hey, stop running through this house. Hey, stop coming through that front door. Hey, stop doing that. And I mean, it was just pew, pew, pew. You get there, we had this, what seemed like a very large front yard, where there's a platform and then the stairs to go up. So we actually used to jump double dutch on the platform. Okay. That's how much space is there, or what, it seemed like it was there. And then right behind that platform, that space, there was like a grassy area. Kind of on the slope a little bit, but it was a grassy area. So to us, we could see the park and we wanted to go to the park, but we didn't really need it because we just had a good time there. Incidentally, I was just there. Now it's my uncle's and his family's house. But we were all just there not too long ago. And I mean to tell you, that platform area where we used to jump rope and play double dutch, it seemed like it's so little. And the little grassy area, it's like, how did we used to run and flip in here? Like, subhanAllah, what were we doing? But we were babies. We were children, okay? So we would all get together. We are all, if you will, I'm thinking about it in my mind like the 12 tribes, honey. We all came together and we were all the children of the children. So we loved each other. And then they would be hanging out together, brothers and sisters, being as well. One thing that my family always did was sing. Yeah, I know I'm Muslim now. Alhamdulillah, don't worry about what I'm doing right now. I'm walking you down memory lane. You got it. All right, cool. So chill out. But that's the one thing that we always did. Even to this day when we get together, it's like, now the world don't move to the beat, just one drum. And it just... I know, I felt really crazy doing it, but that's how it would be. It would just take one person, and before you know it, we are off. I mean, the loudest group singing all of these theme songs to these, these shows, our favorite shows. And of course, you can't do it now because doggone shows don't even have a theme song. What's wrong with y'all? Where you grow up at? Who raised you? Bismillah. But subhanAllah, it would just kick off like that. And before you know it, we was all just in it. And then we started to grow up a little bit to where we could go to the park across the street without asking. Yeah. Because the street in between the house and the park was a very busy street. And when we were young, we had to have permission, of course. We can't cross the street, and we had to have somebody to go over there with us. And you know how dumb kids are. As children, we ain't got it all. And we like, it's right there. Like, how you telling us we can't go to the park and it's right there? Not understanding safety and, all of those things. As a matter of fact, yeah. Went to the park one time and didn't ask. And was hit by a car. Absolutely. It was one of those times where we were all at grandma's house. And I remember this one aunt, I have this one auntie, her name Minnie, honey. Hey, Minnie, how you doing? And she was just like the designated babysitter, just like for real, just had all of us. And I remember, and we different ages, variations, and things like that. And I remember this one particular time, some of them were allowed to go to the park, some of them just went. You got me? It's because I could see y'all swinging. I see y'all swinging. I see y'all on the slide board. I see you on the monkey bars. I see you doing pole to pole. I'm supposed to be doing pole to pole too. So I decided that I'm just gonna go to the park. I ain't gonna bother Aunt Minnie with asking. She got too many children over here that she worrying about and looking after. So, honey, she ain't gonna miss me. I grabbed my little sister and off we went. And since I'm a dumb kid at the time, I ain't got no rhyme or reason for how I'm about to cross this street. Bye. So off we go. Get to the curb. I know better. I watch Sesame Street. I'm gonna look left and right. Got it. Did that, and when I looked to the left, there was a truck, like a 18-wheeler truck. And I guess this poor truck driver was looking like, who are these babies? Where these, So he actually stopped, right? And all I saw him do was like this. He waved us across, and I'm like, yo! On to the promised land. I could literally see us getting to that part. So I take my sister's hand, and baby, we start running. And we going. So we done crossed half of the street. We on our way. And I'm just looking at them swings, waiting on me to get there. And I'm looking at that monkey bar, waiting on me to get there. And we just going. And all of a sudden, boom. I never forget it. It was a dark green car. I don't know if it was a Beretta or what kind of car, but one of them old school 67 something kind of cars. It was dark green. And baby, when I tell you the only thing I saw was it coming, that was it. The next thing I know, I opened my eyes and I just saw black. And I thought for a second, but no. That's just how close I was to the tire. Now, remember, I said waking up. When I open my eyes, this is what I see. So I'm still in the street. Yeah. Managed to get myself up. And I look around, and just beyond the curve on the grass before the park, there's a huge gathering of people. Everybody is there. And this was way before Lion King, honey. My little sister who hand I grabbed to bring to the park with me, somebody was holding her up in the air like this. And all them people was around. And they just holding her up. And I'm looking like, yo. And I'm, kind of stumbling. I try to get up and I fall back down again. And I'm like, why is everybody over there? I'm in the street. So at first I thought I was dead. I did. But it was just the fact that I was told when the car hit us, my little sister went up in the air and landed in that grassy area. So quite naturally, that's where everybody went and that's where everybody was. She had to be worse off than me because, again, I'm still in the street. I get up, I walk over, and I don't even remember like what I was I don't remember saying anything. I don't remember anybody coming up to me. I just remember just trying to make my way over to the group to where they were. I don't know, but because again, I just got hit back off. Okay. And then I remember hearing the sirens, and I'm like, okay, good. At least somebody coming to get me, take me to the hospital. No, ma'am. The ambulance came, and they put my sister in. I was about maybe 6 or 7, somewhere up in there. So that means my sister had to be probably about 6, 5, 4, probably about 4, somewhere up in there. Okay, so we babies, and they put her little self into the back of the ambulance, and okay, I'm like, well, maybe it's another ambulance coming for me, right? No. So ain't many, honey. Gathered us all up. I don't know where our parents were, but this was typical. This was usual. This was not, uncommon for us to all be over there and, at the same time. So my mama wasn't there. I think she had went to the store or something like that. My cousin's mamas, I don't know. I don't know where I just know ain't many gathered us all back up in the living room of grandma's house. And she had separated the ones who had permission to go to the park and the ones who didn't have permission to go to the park. And I ain't had permission. But in my mind, I'm getting pardoned. I'm going to be pardoned because, a girl just got hit by a car. Obviously, I'm not getting a whooping, right? Wrong. I got a whooping. I didn't go to the hospital, and I got a whooping. Maybe I was dead. Maybe nobody really did see me. But anyway, alhamdulillah. She got us all right, and she got us all together. But anyway, that was even a side story, because the way we would come together as a family, as cousins, there was a lot of us, and we really loved hanging out. We really loved being together. We really were friends and family. And our family was Christian. Okay, so that means we went to church, and our family, most of us went to the same church. So it was the same way when we got to church. We just loved hanging and seeing each other. And so we would always, we would always get to church, and quite naturally, our church was out west. We all lived out south. How that happened, I don't know. But shout out to Holy Circle. That was a church, Chicago Avenue. And we went all the time. We was always in the choir. We was always part of the, different committees and doing things. And because our family was so large, we comprised most of the congregation. And so we would see each other at church. We would see each other at grandma's house. And then when we got old enough to be on the phone, we were calling each other on the phone all the time. We really, genuinely, truly loved each other and loved being around each other. And it's the same way to this day. Now, fast forward to, 2002, I take my Shahada. I become Muslim. I am so grateful to Allah for guiding me and granting me the understanding of Islam. And I thought this would be, something that I would bring back to the family, and everybody would be, oh, no. Didn't work that way. For the most part, at first, people thought I was really nuts. Because you can't sing in a choir, in a hijab. You can't come to the family church dinner, because we having some ham. And it just, turned into this thing where I was kind of like on the outside. And I remember being at my cousin's house one night, and we were all there. We're adults now, okay? I know I'm going all around, but keep up. Keep up, okay? We're adults now, and we were all at my cousin's house. And she cooked, and we ate, and we laughed, and we hung out. And then they started asking me questions. They started to ask me questions about Islam and being Muslim. And I remember kind of being afraid because a lot of the things that they were asking me were things that I had a problem with knowing and understanding. But as a Muslim, one of the things that you learn is, you have to speak the truth, even if it's against yourself. You have to, be honest and just. And so we ended up sitting there talking for hours, all the way into the wee hours in the morning. And I remember letting them in on all the research that I had done at that time. And if you've seen previous videos, it took 7 years for me to study and become Muslim. And so we were sitting there talking, and I was giving them all I had about all I had researched and found. And I remember getting in the car going home, and I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, they finna be Muslim tomorrow. Oh, yes. No. It, finding things out about anything that's truthful that you didn't realize or didn't know or didn't see, it takes some time to kind of digest, because you got to get over the fact that, oh, what I knew, I really don't know. And now I have to try to know whatever this is, and it just don't fit. It ain't with me. All these other kind of things. But I always remembered that night because it gave me a chance to at least explain where I was coming from. And I do have to admit that after that night, I didn't feel ostracized anymore. I didn't feel, judged for being a crazy. It was still kind of, awkward, and things like that. But after that night, I felt like there was a little bit more of an understanding about how I became Muslim. The why on their part is still kind of out there. Why would you choose to, cover up and not eat pork and blah, 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 blah. But they could understand. I felt at that time that they understood how. And so that kind of leads us to now, where we're all adults. We're like for real adults, okay? Like some of us are even grandparents. Yeah. But we're still friends, and we're still family, and we still love each other. We still love being around each other. And I'm so grateful to Allah, because not only now is it understood, but my Islam and my deen is also respected in the family, amongst my family. As a matter of fact, sometimes I'm around family and they're, hey, ain't it time for you to make salah? Ain't it time for you to make prayer? Or if we're having a gathering, hey, Seven, this is for you. I know you don't eat such and such and such and such, so this ain't been touched. This is over here. And it's just this comfort. And I'm so grateful that I'm here for it, because there was a time when I felt like Allah was asking me to choose. Like, in a sense he was, but it was kind of like, your peace of mind, your mental health, and your family, or this deen. And at that time, I didn't know how to stand for mine. I didn't know how to understand it and accept that everybody is not going to accept it. Everybody is not going to understand it. Everybody ain't going to be happy that you say La ilaha illallah Muhammadan abduhu wa rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that you fast, that you pray, that you intend to do Hajj, that you give, and that you are Muslim. Everybody ain't going to get that. Everybody ain't going to wrap themselves around it. And as I grew, alhamdulillah, not only as a person, but also as a Muslim, and started to understand these things for what they were, and for myself, things became a little bit easier. Okay, hold on, I want to share this with you. Now, I told you about the Quran and how this, you know how everybody say life don't come with instructions. Okay. Allah gave it. This is what Allah sent to us to understand how to navigate through this life. I say that all the time. But the one thing that I always remind my family, I take screenshots of this a lot of times, and I just want them to know and understand that Allah is all encompassing. He ain't, he ain't like, he created it. He created you. He sent you. And so he got love for you. He maintaining you. He holding you up and holding you down. He's just waiting for you to turn to him. And this is the one thing that I always share with my family. I'm going to read just a small part from the Quran, right? Bismillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It says, those who believe in the Quran and those who follow the Jewish scriptures and the Christians and the Sabians, any who believe in Allah and the last day and work righteousness shall have their reward with their Lord. On them shall be no fear, nor shall they grieve. Subhanallah. That is in Surah Al-Baqarah, in the 2nd chapter of the Quran, and that is ayah 62. When I saw that, when I read that, when I understood that, that's one of the things that let me know, okay, this is for real. God is not, giving us this little bitty window. Don't get me wrong. There's structure, there's guidelines, and there's things that you need to do and be on as a Muslim. But we're talking about our Lord. We're talking about the one who created us, all of us. And when I read that and saw that, I was excited for my family because I wanted them to know that Islam includes you too as a Christian. Subhanallah. What do you think we do with Isa? Well, most people know him as Jesus. Subhanallah, alayhi salam, may Allah be pleased with him. What do we do with Jesus? And that was the big thing, letting my family know. People talk about coming out to their family, for being gay or lesbian or whatever. But coming out as a Muslim? Holy cow. That was not okay. But anyway, I wanted them to know that this was all encompassing, okay? That Allah guides whomever he wills and he accepts whomever he wills. And he tells us that you, part of this group, even if you're a Jew, you heard that. And those not my words. They don't belong to me. I read them from the Quran. If you got a problem with it, take it up with Allah. But those of you who are in this group and in that group and understand this and, have this faith, as long as you believe in Allah, his message, which is the Quran, and the last day, you shall have no fear. That's what he said. And so when I saw that, I wanted to share it with my family. I wanted to tell them with my family, but as of yet, still, hopefully, inshallah, that will change because things are happening and people are becoming aware that, you can't party your whole life. And that ain't no shade or no judge for nothing or nobody. That's from me knowing my own life and knowing my own things. You can't party forever. At some point, you do have to say, okay, Lord, I submit. I come to you. I turn to you. I am a Muslim. One who submits, okay? And I submit to Islam, peace. That's what being Muslim is, all right? And this book, this Quran that Allah gave us through the recitation of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is him giving us the way to attain that peace. And not only to live by it, but to also die by it. I know what you're thinking. Muslims this, Muslims that, this and that and the third, and da 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 da. But I encourage you to go back and find out why Muslims this and Muslims that. Who would give up their peace? Who would give up their peace of mind? Who would give up their home? Who would give up their land if it was not worth fighting for? Nobody does that just out of the blue. Nobody does that just because they bored and tired and want to give you something to listen to on the news. Absolutely not. Go back and find out why some of those incidents are happening or happened, and then find out what the persecution was for the opposition, because we only get the other side of it. We click, turn to a channel and we only get that point of view. We only get that understanding of what happened. Oh, I'm getting off and I'm getting so upset. Let me bring it down. My point is, don't be ignorant. Don't be arrogantly ignorant. Okay? Pick up a book, find it. Allah just said, if you're in this group, that group, or that group, as long as you believe in me, my Quran, and the last day, we could have a conversation. All right? So, that is my time. I am so grateful that I was able to spend this time today. Inshallah, Allah continue to bring us good content and things to talk about that help you and I relate to being Muslim, help us stay on this path, help us to understand what this path is. I pray that Allah turns our hearts towards Him. I pray that Allah make it easy for us to implement the things in the Quran, the instructions that He gave us. I pray that He allow us to find ease in finding and having beneficial knowledge. I pray that He pad our pockets so that we are not in debt. I pray that He give us a good, long Islamic life and a good ending as well. I'm grateful for y'all today. I really was able to just get that on up out of there. I like it. Inshallah, I will see you guys on the next one. Be good to yourself.